Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Daniel. I am a managing director at Open Source Integrators for Europe. I'm also a member of the board at the OCA. And today I would like to talk to you a bit of the why and what could you benefit from using OCA modules. And let me explain you a bit what this is and introduce you to what the OCA is and hopefully invite you to try them out yourselves and try to get the benefits yourselves too. So you have a QR code. If you have questions in the end, you can write your questions there, and I'll be glad if you have enough time to answer your questions. So let's get started. So what's the basic concern or problem we're trying to solve? So if you're doing Odoo implementations, although Odoo is very feature rich, you have continually new features being added on new versions of Odoo, but there we always have that particular feature for that particular industry, for that particular customer that's missing. So that's kind of, I believe that's part of the game. That's natural. No matter how feature rich Odoo will become, this will always happen. So how do you solve this? Well, there are two main ways to do it. So one is you go custom development, and this could even be Studio, or you can just buy some applications on the App Store that would hopefully fill those gaps. But what are the problems with these solutions? So custom development, it can be slow, it can be expensive, and if it's not done properly, which is very easy to happen, you can lose modularity, you can have changes to the system that are very tied to very specific workflows, are not flexible for the company to grow or change in the future. And in the end, this creates technical debt, and it creates long-term higher total cost of ownership of a system. The App Store, it can give you some quick solutions, but it comes with its own set of problems because you're not sure, a lot of times you need to buy the modules, you're not sure they work well together with other modules you have. My own experience, there's mixed quality, there's very good things there, but there are some modules that don't work well and need corrections. And even if you ask for corrections to the supplier of the module, they can do it, but I've seen cases where this bug comes again on a later version when I update it. So it's not very transparent, and it can have its own set of problems. So is there an alternative? Is there something here in the middle that can help us fill these specific gaps in a way that's, in the end, faster to implement, in the end, smaller cost of ownership, something that we can try before we use, that has some quality controls, we are sure that it installs well, it does not have some blatant issues. So, is there an answer? So I believe the OCA provided modules fall into this category. So what is this? The OCA modules are modules that are built under the roof of the Odoo Community Association. So there's this space with a set of collaborative rules, and there's a set of quality control tools that allows the community, multiple people from different companies, different backgrounds, to build high quality modules together. What's the benefits of these? This allows you for speed, because the community has about more than 4,000 published modules at this point. So it's very likely you'll find something that may fit a particular need. Actually, I don't have an implementation project where I don't use at least 10, 20 OCA modules. So you can quickly fill feature gaps, avoiding customization, because this module is already built. You don't need to do it. Someone already did that. You have control because you can inspect the code. It's open source. You can try it before you use it. You can test it, and you can even expand it and then contribute back any missing or some edge case that the base module you were using does not cover. So you can contribute back and make it better. And They provide robustness, meaning that they are tested. There's multiple other companies, they are using it. They are built in a modular way. They are tested in a way that you are sure they are compatible. They are tested together with other modules of the same functional area, and they are peer reviewed. So before this new code is published, someone who understands about it does a code review and then signs off before the code is published. Collaboration, this is done in an open space, collaborative. We can participate there. We can influence where the module's direction go. There's a shared cost of maintenance. So rather than have the one feature totally maintained by me and supported by my customer, the cost of maintenance of that module is probably shared between 2, 5, 10 other companies. So it's more cost effective. No lock-in for the end customers, the end users, because if this module is supported and maintained by multiple companies in the market, if I choose to switch my integrator, the other integrators will not say, no, you need to scrap that code because it's not good, because this is built with standards that are shared by a large group of integrators. And finally, leverage. If you participate in this way of operating, and if you contribute a little bit with fixes, one or another module, you'll always be, if everyone gives a little bit into the pile, there's so much more you can take than you give. So there's a leverage of what you get from this kind of collaboration. So the way I see it, I see the OCA modules like an extra layer on top of either Community Edition and Enterprise Edition, because these modules are compatible with both editions. So you can use just a standalone Community Edition with modules on top that allow you to do more, or even for Enterprise Editions, there's a ton of features that you can find in OCA modules and can work inside an Enterprise installation. So who's behind this? Who is the OCA? So the OCA is the association. We just had our event in Louvain-la-Neuve earlier this week. This is the website. And the Odoo Community Association is a non-profit association that has a mission to foster the open source collaboration around Odoo. And why open source? Because open source is what allows these different companies to work together and be confident that the code they put into the association is protected, and it's not going to be used for other companies to build proprietary products on their own, because the rules of the game is I put my code there. If you improve it, you should share back your improvements and I can benefit from that. So I put code there so I can benefit from what other people then will do the improvements, version migration, etc. on that code I put there. And very important, we are an association, we have memberships, but anyone can use it, even if you're not a member, anyone can contribute. So just go there, I'll have the links in the end, start trying, there's no commitment, and hopefully you see the value and you can step up on your participation in the OCA. But of course, probably there's a few concerns. So I talk to people, why don't we use more? And I hear a few. This probably is the top 3 I selected of things that could prevent you from collaborating. So one is confidentiality. My customer has these very specific processes. If I share the code, I implement this process for my customer, then his competitors will know how he works, and I have a confidentiality problem, so I can't use this public code. The other issue could be license compatibility. Can I run these open source licensed modules alongside my Enterprise Edition or alongside my proprietary code? Because I have a few things there that are really proprietary. I cannot have at all open source license attached to them. And the other thing is, as an integrator, I have these modules I built. They are my competitive advantage. So if I share them with the community, I'm losing my competitive advantage. I'll stay behind. So how do we answer to this? To these concerns. So this is my point of view. You could disagree, but let me share you what I think could be an answer for this. So number one is, I believe if you give me all the source code of your customer and you ask me to build their system, I would not be able to. Why? Because the solution is not only about code. It's the solution is also about how you configure that, what are the folds you set up, and what the data and configurations is there. You need all of these elements to have a system. Just giving out the source code won't allow you to reproduce the secret sauce of a company. So that's how I think about it. About the licenses. The OCA, there are two main kind of licenses, and this is LGPL and AGPL. So LGPL is very permissive, you can mix and match. You have very little obligations. So there's no concerns about that. Actually, Odoo Community Edition is LGPL, and the Enterprise runs on top of it. So it's designed to be compatible with the Enterprise Edition. The concerns come with the AGPL licenses that are stronger. They contaminate the code they touch. Any code they touch needs to be AGPL too. It needs to be provided open source. And why is this? Because the social contract is, if I'm sharing and you improve it, you need to share back. That's the reason for this contamination. It's necessary for this cycle to be assured. Now, there are concerns if you can run AGPL alongside with enterprise editions. We believe this is the result of years of fear, uncertainty, and doubt campaigns of some software publishers, not Odoo, some software publishers from older times that saw open source as a menace. And there's a common agreement, even Odoo, Fabien, the community, the OCA board, that this is not a problem. The code can run alongside as long as there are no code dependencies. And we can talk a bit later about this. So there's a common, of course, this needs to be trial tested. If to be 100% sure, it needs to be court tested. But there's a common sense around the whole community, even along the Odoo SA, that this is true. So we believe this is not really a blocker. And why would a company give back? So I go back to I'm losing my secret advantage by sharing my special code. So number one, I have a quote from Fabien from a conversation he had with us. He said, the battle for code is lost. And that's true, because the code is not the advantage. The advantage is the solution we implement, the value we add. The code is just a tool. It's like a hammer or a nail. What matters is what you build with it. So that's number one. Number two is, I don't know if you know about the magic cauldron metaphor, which is if everyone puts a little bit in this cauldron, there's a lot more you can take from it than you've put in. So everyone giving a bit back, and for example, in a project, if I use 10 OCA modules, and there's one that I couldn't find, I build it. If I contribute back to that, it's a 1-to-10 ratio of value. So this can really work. It's pragmatic. It's pragmatic. When you do this, you're not being altruistic. You're being selfish, because you know it will work better for you. But the magic of it, if you act selfishly in this way, as long as you contribute a little bit back, you'll get 10x returns, and it will work for everyone. So there's a bit of a magic effect here. And this really works. This is not theoretical. I've seen it used in practice, and this really works. Give it a try it out and see for yourself. That's what I would ask. If there's a message here, give it a try and see for yourself, and if it doesn't work, okay, but I promise you probably will be surprised. So how can I get involved, okay? How can I get started? So this is kind of important links for you to do the first steps. So the first thing you can do is just use. So go there, find the modules, use them on your projects. And most of them are available on the official App Store. For some technical reasons, there are some that may be missing there. There are some technicalities with the App Store. We have around 250 project repositories, 4,000 modules. Sometimes there things don't fit the App Store. But if you go to this site, it's not really a shop on the Odoo community. It's an application index. And you can search there, you can find modules about anything. Sales, invoicing, reporting, localizations, warehouse management. There's modules about 250 different projects, different topics. So there's a ton of things there. Stepping up, you can support the community financially. You can become a member. You can be a sponsor. So you can just give something out to help the community function. So there's a link there, you could do that. Or you could just actively participate and do code reviews, propose fixes, even propose new modules into the OCA. And you can go to our GitHub. It's on our way to find the modules. That's where most of the magic happens. It's there. GitHub/OCA, you'll find the repos and find everything that's going on. And well, finally, this is the motto, current motto for the OCA is making Odoo mightier together. If we all unite, we will be stronger. And let's be honest, a lot of Odoo integrators are small companies. For us, and we're not fighting against each other, we're fighting against the competing ERPs that are not open source. And if we unite a lot of small companies working, focused together, can be bigger than these big consultant firms that implement SAP or Oracle or other systems. So we can have, with this, we can be taller and really compete at that level, even if we're just a 5-10% company. So this is my message, and I'm Portuguese, so obrigado. And yeah, please, I'm open for your questions.
All right, so a few questions there. Can you hear me properly?
Yep.
Yeah, all right. So the first one is, how simple is it to share the modules, to share the corrections? Like, is there any published rule or anything any regulations?
Good questions. So yes, there are a lot of rules so it can be hard. For a good reason, we have high quality standards. If a module needs to pass certain quality standards to be published, because we want them to be reliable. We want when you see an OCA module, we can trust on it. It won't break when we install it, for sure. So the second part of the answer is there's levels. So yes, contributing a fix, documentation improvement, a small feature, it's easier. If contributing a new module, then that will probably have a tighter checks. We'll see maybe there's something that overlaps with something. You need to justify why you are doing the same that's already implemented. The structure needs to be sound. It needs to it needs to have tests, all of that things. So there's levels, but there's some like contributing with with the bug fixes. That's probably a good entry point.
So thanks. Someone said with Odoo App Store it's easy, you just click, you pay, and then you get the module. How is it working with OCA?
So the modules of the OCA are also published in the App Store, and they are free, zero, so you can just click download like any other module. You don't have to pay anything. But you can select other deployment approaches. You can just clone a repo where the modules are, and if you have customizations and install from that repo, add it to your add-ons path. Or you can click download, similar to the App Store from our shop, click and it downloads the zip. So there's multiple options for getting, but it should be simple.
So can anyone build a module on top of another one? And in that case, are they forced to publish it?
Are they
forced? Is it mandatory for them to publish them?
Okay, so if you build one module on top of an OCA module, you need to carry the original license. So if it's LGPL, you can do it under LGPL or even proprietary. But most modules are AGPL, they would need to carry the AGPL license. Are you forced to publish it? No, you're not forced to publish it. Under the AGPL license, you are forced to give the code if someone who uses that program asks you to. But you're not forced to volunteer, like on your initiative, publish on the web. Although we would thank you, and the original author would thank you if you've published, so that other people can benefit from it.
So next question, do we have to go through an Odoo partner to install an OCA module, or can anyone do it on their own?
Anyone can do it, so you don't have to be Odoo partner. In fact, many Odoo OCA contributors are not Odoo partners. So you can, no, you don't have any requirement, any affiliation. You don't even have to be an OCA member to get the code. You go there, download them, and no one will, anyone can do it.
So what's the migration process to the new version of right now? How does it look like?
For the modules. Okay, that's a good question. So the OCA modules are when we migrate them from versions. If there are changes in the data model, they are required to have migration scripts. So they should run with the engine of Odoo. Odoo has inside the migration engine. So we have migration scripts that it would migrate automatically with an upgrade. It's good to know that the OCA also maintains alternative migration scripts, open source migration scripts to migrate versions. It's a project called Open Upgrade. If you haven't heard of it and you're interested, you can visit the Open Upgrade project on our GitHub.
Do you have any examples of any modules that you always use in your methodology?
Oh yes, yes. Like top of mind, no negative stock. Preventing negative stock on locations. That's one. I have like a bunch of 5 or 10 that I stopped thinking I already installed because I end up always using them. This is an example.
And I have right now a last question. So shall I involve my customers in the process at any point? And why would they trust me with doing an OTA?
Okay, great question. I would love to, but I recognize it could not. It depends on your customers' awareness about what open source is. Like if you're clueless, they don't care. Maybe it's not a constructive conversation. Maybe introduce it later. It depends on your customer, the trust you have, and how open they are to these topics. I would say start internally. Maybe talk about it. We don't need to sell the idea if the customer is not ready to understand this. Like we don't have to be, but if they are, it's good to talk to them and provide them why this is good for them. Why this is in the end it's good, because they have more freedom, they have more guarantees on the work if you are using this model than if you're doing everything custom. So
that's all.
Okay,
for now. So
good.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.